We are going to hit record and we are going to kick it off. Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel from HomeStack, and I'm super excited to take you through our webinar today, The App First Agent, Why Social Media Without an App Leaves Money on the Table. Something that has been, it's a really exciting time at HomeStack right now, and we have a whole new app software. We have a lot of new features, but something else that has been coming up this year more than ever is what agents are doing with their app to lead gen with it on their Instagram, their Facebook, their YouTube channels. It has been so cool to see all of this unfold and take place. And our panelists that we have on today are social media kings and queens, and they've been doing a lot of cool stuff with their app on their socials, at their live events, like using it in all these unique and creative ways. So we're really excited to hear from them today. Let's introduce our panel. Hello, everyone. First up, we have Zandra. She is a top 1% realtor, founder of Team Z Realty out in San Diego. She has 4+ billion in career sales, and she's really used her branded app as a consistent communication hub for her clients and a recruitment tool to grow her team. Hey, Zandra, how's it going? Thanks for hopping on.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Next up, we have Logan McKenzie out in Long Beach Island, New Jersey, Jersey
Hey
Shore.
everybody.
Hey, Logan. So he is a top 2% nationwide for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, BHHS Zach Shore. And Logan's videos have over 8K views. He's super consistent on his social media. He, talks to everyone from the beach every day, which is super cool. And he really uses this app to turn his social followers into those qualified leads. And then last but not least, we have Michael Salazar out in Florida from Sundial Real Estate with Z Realty. And Michael is a Real Producers 35 under 35, and he uses the app to use it on his social media and his live events and a lot of cool ways that his team does. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. So Rob, I'm going to pass it over to you. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah,
We'll get into
so
it.
let's dive in. Let's dive in. So, I mean, a lot of agents are great at racking up followers on social media, the likes, the comments, the DMs, but that doesn't always translate into actual business, right? So, before we get into all the systems, I'd love to talk about these gaps. I mean, what does it look like when you have a big social media following, but no real way to move those people into your pipeline? Why is your app really the perfect place for, social lead capture? We'll start with you, Logan.
I think well, first of all, if I have a partner named Anne Marie. She's in the audience. She's awesome. I wanted to say hello. But when it comes to the app and converting people, our whole approach is just giving everybody value, giving them the things they need and stepping back, not forcing anything. And that approach has worked really, really well for us.
100%. Xandra, you got any tricks up your sleeve?
Of course, wouldn't have anything less than. For us, it's about being able to not just provide value, but prove that we are the direct community resource from community events to where they should eat and why. But more importantly, connecting vendors. Everyone loves a good mom and pop that is fair, reliable, but most importantly, specializes in what they're looking for. So for us, we have the great opportunity to connect our community with local vendors and business partners within our community that really get to leverage what we do and let our success be their success. So where it's not just about resource, in real estate, it's about really being a digital office for everyone to go to as a resource.
Love that. And Michael, I mean, you kind of do a hybrid of it all, the in-person, the social media. How do you specialize with the social media conversions?
Yeah, absolutely. And to piggyback off of Xandra and Logan, at the end of the day with real estate, we're in the business of creating relationships, and the app can really accelerate your business because, even I know we're going to get into a couple of the events that I do and things like that. And, all of the features of the app just make the conversion process that much easier where the client doesn't feel like they're even getting sold. Like they're, to Logan's point, getting value from all of the great features on the app, to Zandra's point about the vendors. And, we're kind of like the local mayor of our local markets because, yes, we specialize in homes, but people do ask us where the best restaurants and coffee shops to go to. So having that all under one hub can really help to, get that conversion rate up for sure.
100%. It's as easy as putting a link in the app, right? So I'll pass it back to you, Rach.
Yeah, I love that because I feel like you guys are all something that you all do really well is you're like the mayors of your community, like you said, Michael, and this allows you to be like your digital mayor, right? And it allows you a way and a place to deliver it to your people in a valuable way. So, Zandra, 4 billion in career sales, leading your team. How do you use your branded app as a communication hub with your clients on a daily basis?
So it's easy. I am not just reactive to them being online when they're actually searching for, properties. I stay ahead by using our push notification feature, which is my favorite. I could use it a lot more, but the too much contact freaked me out just a little bit. And now I understand how to send out notifications and when, and really the message, it's the call to action. So, where we find value in our app is being able to see that they're online and pretty much say, are you looking to sell again? Are you looking to buy? So we're a little bit reactive in that sense, but proactive is going to be if there's rate changes, if there's a new property coming on the market. And because the relationship is so strong within our realm, we're able to stay in contact to try to really understand what they might be looking for. So if I see a client online and they're actively online and they are kind of through the app, and they just bought a property just maybe like 2 months ago. To me, that's not them looking for another house. Maybe they're looking for a vendor. So I'll reach out and say, hey, how's the house going? And all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're having a plumbing issue. And I said, well, I saw you on the app. Were you able to reach out to my plumber of choice? Is there anything else I can help you with? And then also reminding them that they typically have a home warranty. So it's a full, all inclusive opportunity to close the loops on conversations that most agents are leaving on the table because they think they're one and done once the property is sold.
I love that domino effect. That is awesome. Like
Yeah.
right there is a hot tip, right? Just because somebody just bought a house doesn't mean that you still can't engage with them, right? It's all about that relationship building over time. That is so cool and always kind of being there to provide that value. That's amazing.
Yes.
So I know you also use your app as part of your, recruitment. You had a larger team, then you scaled it down to more quality agents. How does offering tech like your app differentiate you for getting those top quality agents over competitors?
Well, I've always been a team leader that has proven that work works. And so if I see that they're actively on the app, it means that they're actively communicating with prospects and clients. It just means that, luck follows motion. So if I can't track and measure what they're doing and the results are not there, they don't have any new buyer exclusive agreements signed, they don't have new listing agreements in hand, they are not submitting offers, to me, it means that they're not really using their resources and they're not staying proactive with the tools that are being provided to them. And although we all believe that our CRM is the best possible thing, the CRM that works is the one that we are working every single day, morning, noon, and night. And having HomeStack there is beyond just, saying to the agent, let me provide you another tool that you're most likely not going to use, but we setting the standard of how many times have you logged in? When was the last time you logged in? Do you understand how to navigate through it? And it's just allowing me to be a better leader to help guide them through the process of their business because everyone operates at the way that they believe is their best approach, right? We all can door knock, we all can make phone calls, we all can sit at the dining room table, we all have the recipe, but they have to figure out how to be their best chef.
Yes, yes. And yes, chef. But
I want you to go like
I
this now.
love I absolutely love that you hold your agents accountable for using the tools that you give them, right? Like I remember at one point you were pulling up your app dashboard at every team meeting being like, "Okay, this person has this many downloads. This person has this many users." Like get out there and start sharing your app because that's how you're connecting and that's how you're building your business. So that's really, really awesome. So I just know a lot of the agents that were on your team, you're such a social media queen and you've kind of given them this little magic recipe. And of course, we could go into your social media strategy in an entire webinar. But give us a little bit of a peek into how you coach your agents to get more active on social, not to be shy, to put themselves out there and to get themselves on kind of a schedule.
Sorry about that. I was kicked out right now, so I'm sure your question was amazing. Do you mind just
Oh.
repeating it again?
Technical difficulties. No. So I said that I know that a lot of you coach a lot of your agents on your team to have a really good social media schedule. What is that schedule that you tell them to do, and how do you get them going? Because I think some agents are intimidated to hop on, get in front of the camera, don't know what to say or do. What's a good
Right.
little quick formula you can give
So
people?
I'm all about themes, right? Done is better than not done, of course, but consistency always wins. So I think so many people get in their way of it has to be perfect. I'm always about just shoot it, get it done, and just post it. Don't look back at it. You're your worst critic. So, I do the AM, which is so morning is going to be motivation, some type of motivation that encourages you, yourself, and or your team and or your prospect to make big moves, right? To motivate them. Afternoon is some type of action. So showing that you're in field, you're working the business and you are out in field. And then evening is evidence of success. So sharing a success story, sharing a challenge, because so many agents want to pretend that it's perfect. And we are really good at making real estate look really easy. And we actually know it's very difficult. So, it would be motivation, action, and then evidence of success. But think about your themes. On Mondays, educate or give market insights. Tuesdays, be behind the scenes. Wednesdays, do listing or property tours. Thursdays, share a client testimonial or a review that you even got 5 months ago, repost it and recycle it. Just do a different type of design. Let's say Fridays would be personal life and community, or Flyer Friday, your fitness Friday, just be out there. And on weekends, I like to focus on lifestyle, local businesses, family time. I have my personal account that I mix personal, my personal life with my business. And then when I have agents say like, oh, you post so much personal on your profile, there should be more real estate. I'm like, well, I have a business page, so help yourself to that one if you'd like to. But I like to just be open, because
Yeah.
the biggest mistake that most agents make is only.
Oh, we might have lost her. That's a
That's a
cliffhanger
good
too.
post, though. That's a good post.
Sure, I know, I know, I
She
know.
looks
I'm in
good
suspense
frozen.
now.
We'll get Xander back. We'll get Xander back. Rob, why don't you kick it over to Logan, and then I really want to know what she was saying, but we'll
I
get Xander
know.
back.
I want to know what
Don't
she was going
worry
to say too. So yeah,
I
we're all
know, I
waiting.
know.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll kick it to you, Logan. I mean, dude, you're a top, 2 to 5% nationwide, Berkshire Hathaway. How does your app turn a casual social follower into like a qualified lead in your pipeline?
Think the cool thing about our app is, we put the entire island on there. And Emery and I always say, I mean, you can find everything from a beach house to a beach chair. So I didn't want to have something that was, only for somebody looking to buy or sell today. I mean, this is Long Beach Island, right? It's a vacation spot. There's a lot of people who are coming down here, hanging out for the week or hanging out for the day, and maybe their dreams to have a house in a year, or 2 years, 5 years. So we wanted to, like I said, put everything on there, and it's so far the response has been incredible, right? And the
Yeah.
nice thing about our app right now is people are reaching out, messaging us constantly, sending us DMs. It was funny. I actually had a kid and his dad meet me at the beach this morning to kick off their sandals for my video, and it's like it's just the human part of it has been really exciting. And back to Sandra's point about business and personal pages, I'm a big believer of they're all the same. Like there's no difference. So for me, I would see lots of agents around here just talking about what they sold or what they just listed, and we're doing this. So I went the opposite way. I just got up in the morning, started talking about my life, what I have going on as a human being who grew up at the beach, loves the beach, but I also sell houses. And that's what I do. I feel like maybe 10% of the time I actually mention real estate, but my partner and I are doing more business now than we ever have from being human beings who love this place and not being the realtors who are, trying to get them to buy something or trying to get them to sell something. But I feel like the app has been just really powerful for everybody who's downloaded it. And even with the app, we don't tell anyone to download it. Our whole approach is like, we're at the beach having a good time. You can come if you want, but you don't have to. And I think when you're disarming like that, it's more welcoming. So yeah, that's been
Yeah.
the approach for us.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed that just with clients in general. It's like, hey, here it is. Here's why you should do it. It's there for you. And that approach always
Yeah.
works. But the cool thing is, since you're taking that approach, it's just that sticky effect that keeps conversations alive.
Yeah, and I
Um,
feel like, if everybody's going one way and you're going the other, I mean, that stands out in itself. And it's funny. I guess that's Rachel when we had our interview. It's like whenever I go shopping, if people reach me at the door, if I ever have a question, I'm going to the one person who didn't. But Anne Marie and I make sure that when people do reach out, we're very responsive, right? I mean, we're on it as soon as the message comes in. But again, the whole push approach, we're more of a pull than a push.
for sure, man. I mean, tell us about your app launch. How did you introduce it to your audience? Like, what did the rollout look like for you guys?
I was a bit nerve wracking. We talked about that too, leading up to it. Like I said, in the morning, I get up, I show the sunrise on the beach. I talk about whatever I have going on for the day. Sometimes it's real estate, sometimes it's not. And leading up to it, yeah, I was nervous, because to your point before, we have a big following. People love the videos, tons of engagement, but it did make me wonder, like, are they gonna want to download this? The app launches, right? I get it. I'm showing the beach, the sunrise. That's cool to watch no matter where you are in the country. But, introducing the real estate app, I knew that we needed to make it more of an LBI app, not just real estate, not just if you're buying or selling, this is for you. If not, you know what I mean? You're not included. So I made sure that for 3 weeks leading into it, I put in every link to literally everything on the island: mini golf, ice cream, surf lessons, renting beach chairs. I mean, everything. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, for a good 72 hours leading up to it, not much sleep, because I was curious. And it was funny. I said to my partner, if we get like 75 downloads, I'll be so stoked. And then that day, yeah, we made the video. We thanked our partners who helped us out with it. And I hit that button. And it was the first time I was nervous in a while hitting that button. And then, yeah, by that night, we had, I think, 1,200 people the first day downloaded it. And right now we're sitting at 3,800, which is cool. So
Yeah,
again, I mean,
that's so cool.
I know there's a million other ways to sell real estate, but the approach for my partner and I is working really well. So I'm not messing with it.
No, for sure. And I mean, social is, yeah, a big part of it. You guys mentioned vendors and things. Like, are you doing, I think I heard your partner said she was gonna get like coasters and like drop them off at the bar.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
how
yeah,
are you guys
yeah. We
ingraining
actually,
this into like the local community there?
yeah. It's funny. It's like, yeah, we got a ton of coasters made, dropping them off at bars, so people can see the app. And when it comes to the videos and the way that we promote it, usually when I talk about the open houses I have for the weekend, at the end of it, I'll say, hey, there's more going on the island. If you want to see the rest of them, download our app. But even in my morning videos, when I don't mention real estate, at the end of every video, I have the logo for LBI Views, and it says download on Apple or download on Google Play. And it's funny, it's like the videos where I don't mention real estate, I'll get like 10 downloads that day from talking about like the new dog I just rescued. And it's funny, it's like I feel like, it's more about that connection than just being a salesperson 24 hours a day, which for me personally, I don't enjoy. I like to be more of a human being and a guy that loves the beach. So it's really made the job a lot more fun for my partner and I.
That's
That's
awesome.
interesting that the videos where you don't talk about the real estate, you get the most app downloads. That's
Yeah, I,
good.
I probably talk about real estate 10% of the time. But
Wow.
I've had people reaching out going, oh, I love your videos. And, the fact that you did this, I connected with it. My parents had a house there. Like it was just, again, I don't think you needed to so much, but again, it's working. We're having fun, and the app's been awesome for everybody that's used it. So we're
Well,
stoked.
and like when people feel comfortable with you, like they're feeling comfortable with you, so then they're like, yeah, I'll download his app, right? Like instead of it
Well,
feeling like,
yeah, and
oh, I
and
don't
I
know
think
about this guy.
well, yeah, and I think too, before it's, and I say this all the time, before when you have, an interview, to list a house or that, you get that 2 minutes, right? The 2 minutes to go there, dance. I've sold this. I'm so wonderful. I've listed this. Now with social media, you can be on everybody's phone every morning being you. I feel like the reason they ask you those questions is because they don't know you. So if they know you when they reach out, I mean, the people that are reaching out to us now don't even ask what we've sold or ask what. It's like I see you every day. When we look to work with you, when we buy a house, and I just think it's an interesting shift. And I think without social media, I mean, that wasn't going on before. So I make sure now, like, our biggest, lead source, and this might sound strange to everybody, listening, but going up in the morning and talking about what we have going on for the day is our most important lead source, more than, letters, cold calls, anything. And it feels good because we're just talking about our life. It's interesting.
And you're really consistent. So I think consistency is a huge part of social media. I also think consistency is a huge part of the app. Like you said, remembering to talk about it, remembering to share it with people, getting it out there. So Michael, let's talk
Get
a
up
little
every
bit
morning for
about
sunrise at 5:30 is kind of tough when you do it for 18 months straight. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm a little tired, but it's worth it because the phone calls that we're having, I mean, this is the stuff that I used to dream about when I was an agent, right? I mean, we have a couple, big guys in my office. Now I would hear the calls they would get. Oh, hey, Bob, it's Mary. You sold my friend a house. And now I'm looking at it. I'm like, how did you get that call? Like, what do I have to do this for 50 years to get that call? And then now for making the videos, they feel like they know you. And we're having the, and it's just, yeah, it's been incredible. But the app's been a huge part of that for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, it's every time I talk to an agent who is getting those calls rolling in, it's that consistency is really the key.
Yeah. I'd like them to roll in more, but I've gotten some so far and I like it and I'm planning on getting more in the future.
Never enough. It's never enough.
That's
Uh,
right. Yeah, yeah. Keep them coming.
Awesome. So, Michael, let's chat with you a little bit. So, something that you guys have been doing that's really unique is that you guys have ingrained yourselves in your community, of course, just like Zandra and Logan, but you guys do these live events. And when you have these live events, talk to us about how you have used the push notifications to promote the event and then how you actively use the app at your events to kind of capture leads there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are, very community oriented. We're located in College Park, which is a suburb of Orlando. And we like to do, now that we have the office space to allow for community events, every quarter, every month or so. A huge one has been Taco Tuesday, which has been great. So we had to take a pause last month just because it was so hot here in Orlando. So we weren't really getting too much of a turnout, plus rain. It's like you never know whether to have an umbrella or shorts. Like that's just how Florida is right now. So we're starting it up in August now, but the way that we go about marketing our events is we'll create a flyer and then we'll have our QR code to the app. And essentially we're saying, hey, come to Taco Tuesday. You can get, Corona, you can get, you download the app, it's the RVP. So one, that allows for us, because we're sending this out to our top 50, our previous clients, even vendors, other agents as well too. So it's like a big kind of like networking event where there's so many different avenues that we can branch out from there. But the way that everybody can RSVP is through the app that goes directly into our CRM. So we're constantly being able to monitor that. And then we end up seeing folks that, we might not have even had a conversation about, real estate. They might say, hey, I'm renting right now. I'm going to be in a lease for like another year, whatever the case is. We see their activity. So to Zandra's point, monitoring the activity, it does help a lot to, have those soft touches where it's not like you're consistently contacting them every single day. You're on the app. I see you. I see you. It's like, hey, I saw you were looking at, this, like, this is how the rental market is now, or like, this is the changes with the, inventory. So it's just touch points where the more touch points that we have, the closer it gets to that conversion point, even with, the way that we classify leads are like A, B, and C, with B being a couple months out and then C being like 6 months plus out. It helps to nurture those relationships that eventually will turn those buyers into our A buyers, which are our actives or, renters.
Yeah, and I love how it's like, no, 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 you don't get your taco, you don't get your margarita till you download our app.
Yeah, yeah. We've had
That's
people try, and I'm like, no, show me the proof.
all right. I love it. Holding the line. Hold it. Well, withhold
Yes.
the alcohol. That's how you get people to do something, right?
We're getting everybody's IDs too. So
Love it. Love yeah, yeah, yeah. Good call. Love it. So tell us a little bit about how you've used it at your gym events as well.
yeah, absolutely. So, my local gym that I go to, they do, and I'm a huge proponent of free events. So I don't have a huge, insane amount of overhead. So essentially, the gym that I attend, they go and do customer appreciation events every month or so. And there's all sorts of different vendors throughout the community where we're there from about, 6 to 8 p.m. And then it's all just to connect with the community. So we have there's a really awesome bakery that has like gluten-free items, and they're trying to tailor it more to like the fitness, like the healthy side for people at the gym instead of going to like crumble cookie after the gym or something like that. So to like get that sweet tooth a little bit taken care of. So essentially, as a real estate company, we're there, and I actually purchase, some goods from a lot of the vendors there to have at my table to draw the attention. And the way that I get folks to ask about, because if you walk into a room and there's a real estate table, a cookie table, and like a protein shake table, you're not coming to the real estate table. So I've partnered with a couple of these where everybody's at my table. So I'm like the hub. And then not only will I have those goods where I can have all of the vendors speak to the clients, and then they can chat with me, and we actually do a protein powder raffle that I get one of our preferred mortgage lenders to actually pay for. So he goes in on it with me. And I say, hey, the only way that you can enter into the raffle is if you sign up on the app. And then the only way you're going to know if you win is if you keep the app, because I've seen folks where they'll keep the app just to get into the raffle, then they'll delete it. So I say, if you delete it, you're going to get a push notification. And if you don't have the app, I'm going to go to the next person that has the app downloaded. So I've actually had a huge successful conversion rate because of the consistency, to your point.
Yeah.
Because folks will, somebody might come and say, hey, I don't want to talk to you right now or whatever. They're late to their workout class, but the consistency of it, they're just like, oh, who's the guy with the orange table? And then it brings up those conversations. And then on top of me working out at that gym, people are like, oh, you're that guy. And then they're the ones that are starting the real estate conversations with me. So I don't have to like cold, like try to sell them on the spot. And then those relationships get nurtured. And then as time and time goes on, like my market are the gym attendants, the vendors as well, and then also the gym staff. So it's like those three, which is great.
Yeah.
So those have been really
I
great
think,
for us. And thanks to the app.
yeah, and I think there's something to be said for like finding where your sphere is, right? Like you're like,
Mhm.
I could just go to the gym, right? Or I could make this a sphere of influence and I could get all of these different people coming in. But how are you going to capture their information and how are you going to get them into your systems and into your CRM? And so the app is kind of like that top of funnel, which I think is really cool.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
holding
We
you
love it.
accountable for your workouts.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's the biggest thing.
So there you go. So there you go. Awesome. So Rob, we'll kick it back to you. And I think, we want to talk a little bit about, even though you guys are in three different markets, even though you guys are in different parts of the country, is there one thing that you'd all agree on is like a non-negotiable when it comes to turning your social media into real business? So Zandra, I know you kind of got cut off, so we'll go back to you. I think you were going to give us like some of your
Yes.
top tips on that social and how you actually can turn it into some real business.
That darn enemy trying to shut me up. Like Mike was saying, it's super hot in San Diego right now. So I had my laptop up on my wheel here, and I became too hot for the opportunity. So, all right. Well, I am all about just HomeStack beyond what we know it can be used for, right? When someone is walking into the open house, you can print out your QR code. They immediately sign in. I love that it's one business for me. I had so many realms of systems that were working for me, but not working together. My HomeStack, my app is exactly that. I'm building one business now, no longer two with CRM and contacts and everything. But for me, it's like they walk into the open house. I'm in open house mode. I immediately capture their information. Their information goes straight into my CRM. That's one less step I have to do now. It automatically, right, points it to me, and then I do the follow-up. What I love about it most, though, is the fact that even if someone joined 3 years ago, they'll come on and I see it. We talk about that all the time. It's my favorite feature. But I like to verify when they joined. And then I look at what was the average listing price of the properties that they loved 3 years ago, and what is that price now? So then I send them a push notification, say, did you know that if you would have purchased 3 years ago, you would have already earned X amount of equity on your property today to possibly qualify to buy another property as passive income and or upsize, right? Upgrade the property. So giving them that scenario, giving them payment smart scenarios, and especially the ones that are searching, but they're not really doing any engagement with me. I also like to let them know what the list price of a property that they favorited was and what it actually sold for. So it gives them the reality that they can possibly, take this app and use it as informational reasons as well too. So my biggest tip really is just to stay creative, letting them know how much rent they've spent in 3 years, and that it could have been their very down payment to buy the house that they are favoriting over and over again.
Yeah, that hits home. Wow. Yeah, that's an awesome strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then other than that, I'm obsessed with finding them. So I do try to find them on programs like Intellius or People Finder. And then I accidentally on purposely target them, friend them on my Facebook. So all of a sudden we have mutual friends, and then start targeting them with listings that I know they love because I can see the market that they're searching in.
Wow.
Whoops. Whoops.
Wow.
So sorry.
All
Boom.
good.
That is
I'm happy I
amazing.
added you. You didn't have to do that for me.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Very
That's
cool.
awesome.
Very cool.
But yeah, I mean, all three of you, have different business models. Like Zandra, you're a team lead. Uh, you know, I mean, you're kind of turning into a team, and you're not a one man show over there by any means, Logan. But Michael, you're on a team, but kind of a top producer running your show. Like, what would you say? We'll start with you, Logan, then pass it to Michael and Zandra. Like, what is the thing that is really turning, these social media leads into real business for y'all?
In a human being. I think talking more about my life, in the corner, wherever you're watching me, it'll say my name online, Surfing Realtor LBI. I love the beach. They know I sell real estate. So I feel like bringing it up every 15 minutes I think it's not only counterproductive, I think it's going to turn people away. And I can say that because for the last year and a half, by talking about my life, what I'm going through, what my partner's going through, my wife, I've even mentioned the dog I just rescued last week, who's sitting here right now. She had to have surgery yesterday. Isn't that terrible? She's doing all right. She's over here with the cone. And it's like even this morning, that was my video. I went up and talked about what I have going on in my life. And then, I mean, you can go to the page right now with, hundreds of comments of people, talking about, hey, I had a pet. And it's just more of a human connection. And I feel like, because we're on everyone's phone every day, that when they decide to do something real estate related, they're going to reach out to us. Plus, they're already on the app. Again, that's why before when I mentioned, you know, the way that things were done before. And again, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's just something that's working for us. I know everybody, obviously, the other systems are working great for everybody. But I feel like, doing it this way, I think people are taken aback by it. I think they're waiting for me to sell them something. And when I don't, they wonder why. And I think that's actually pulling them closer to us. And like I said, when they look at the app, I mean, everything's there. Everything you could want about the place that we live in, this little island, is on that app. So yes, it's a real estate app, but it's also valuable if you want to go find a great restaurant or if you want to
Yeah.
find out, the store is open. So again, I think just having the whole approach of here's everything you need. We're here whenever you're ready for us has been working.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
Pass it over to you, Mike.
Awesome. Yes, definitely. So yeah, when it comes to utilizing the app, I use it definitely to complement a lot of my prospecting when it comes to social media. So I'll give an example. Like I've been trying to tailor my marketing when it comes to like Instagram and TikTok, and just experimenting with different things that have the potential to go viral, to get my name and my brokerage's name in front of thousands of people. So just one funny one, because I know, I don't know about for me, but for you guys, but for me, like when I'm working with a client, it's like they're always asking, especially from out of town, where are the best places to get coffee, the best places for this, the best places for that, to go out. The list goes on and on and on. So I told myself, I said, listen, well, I'm getting all of these questions. And, when I'm posting, to Logan's point about like, a house, it's like I don't really get too much traction on it. It's when I post things that are not real estate related that I get the most amount of traction. So I said, all right, well, let me just experiment and see if this is true. So I started doing like a tier list series on TikTok, where if you've ever seen on Instagram, you have like S tier all the way down to F tier, which S being the best, F being the worst. And I'm just talking about local chains in the Orlando area. So, an ice cream store, and doing like an ice cream one. And it kind of went extremely viral. Well, not extremely viral, but in total over the past like week and a half, it's totaled a little bit over 300,000 views across all of the videos in total.
Wow.
So I've been using that opportunity to really, and it's like I'm inundated with it now because I'm getting so many comments, but I'm trying to push the HomeStack app in front of them, just to say, hey, thanks for watching. If you or anybody that is interested in, buying, selling, renting, so on and so forth, check out my app. It's free and it's better than Zillow and Realtor.com. So that's something that I'm working on because it is a lot and I don't
Yeah.
want that to take away from my main business. But, just posting, it's funny, everybody has their opinions. I do on coffee and ice cream and this and that. And it's kind of posing me as like the local expert per se.
Yeah.
And then people know that I do real estate. So they're like, oh, this guy knows about, this. Like he seems,
Yeah.
personable and I can relate to him, which is pretty cool because this is like literally within the past 2 weeks that I've kind of shifted my
Hey,
strategy.
an
Wow.
idea is go to that ice cream shop, be like, look, 300,000 views on this place. Give my clients a discount, a free ice cream or
Mm,
something, and I'll drive them to the app to get it. That might be
yeah.
a good idea
That's
there.
definitely putting vendors because we've been and my broker Nicole Van Trees, she has a lot of great connections in the Orlando area too. So we already have some that we're interviewing to have their place on the app. So it's kind of like they're competing on who's going to be on the app. So
Yeah.
that just opens up that other door to having even more vendors that we vet to be on that app, which is great. So it's definitely complements a lot of things that we do.
Awesome. I'll pass it over to
Very
you,
cool.
Zandra.
I mean, at the end of the day, we all know like technology has never really been our competitive advantage. It's been relationships. And so when we are consistently posting on our social media, it allows someone to easily pass the message along. It allows them to screenshot it and say, "Hey, look, did you know?" Like the biggest thing that I always keep in mind is the perspective of FOMO, the fear of missing out. People want to know, especially in San Diego, our competitive market, we don't have too many choices. So when you are able to promote and do push notifications of a coming soon without releasing the address, it gives them this sense of FOMO that it's like, okay, the technology simply allows us to deliver that message to the relationships that we have, but staying consistent and scaling it allows us to be like the weatherman and weatherwoman of the industry. Someone knows, like, if I want something real estate related, I'm going to go to Z. She's going to know whether I'm posting every hour, every day. It comes down like the difference of having the tool and using it and then having a system like HomeStack. So when we're posting HomeStack and our app just in general, it's really to remind people that when you're sleeping, most of the time, they can search actively on our site. They can favorite things. They can send messages. They can have mom, dad, and uncle in one group message favoriting the same property and having a personal message, and then they can include me on it. So it really helps the efficiency of not doing that annoying group text and the automatic notification to still having one hub to be able to say, hey, look, I found this on Instagram, click the link, brings me back to the app. And then now I have organized chaos to just continually be that, scalable system that reinforces the brand of what convenience. So it's just the one-stop shop for us in our social media to be able to say, like what Michael said is, we are updated faster than Zillow and it's real time. We're not advertising any properties that are not available. And more importantly, I love the fact that people can search rentals, people can search, residential. And more importantly, they can keep track of what their goal is, because we talk to people so many times that are not going to buy tomorrow. It's going to take at least a year. So imagine that track record of every favorite property from a year that they can reference, that you get inundated on other third-party sites like Zillow, and then they're immediately sending you random stuff that you don't even have interest on just because you clicked on something accidentally. So the intention of just really being able to scale it on social media, and it's fun. It's interactive and it's super simple. So I know that my clients love it because I don't have to be a bug, and they know that they can use it as a resource beyond just MLS searches.
And something that you said earlier that I love, when I think agents are kind of intimidated to get on camera or start to do that consistent social media, it's like, don't even watch yourself. Just do the
No,
video, put it
you're
out
your
there
worst
and forget
critic.
about
Don't do it.
it.
I can't tell you how many times I'm speaking and I literally forget to say the word in between because in my mind I said it, and then all of a sudden it makes sense. So whatever, you're your worst critic. Get out of your way. You look how you look. You sound like you sound. Whoops. And it is what it is. Sorry about that.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
now is better than perfect later, right?
Yes, exactly.
Cool, cool. Okay, so we're gonna open it up to questions in a minute, but just give us like your last, like, I would say those are probably your tips, Xander, is like just do it, just get out there. But as far as like Logan, what would you tell people who are intimidated to get on social media? Just like two quick tips that they can start doing like tomorrow.
Two biggest things, be authentic and be consistent. And it's, funny, Michael, that's awesome that you had 300,000 views on that video. That's incredible. When I started doing this, was about a year and a half ago. I made a video. I started doing it in the winter time, and then spring rolled around. And here at the beach, having an outdoor shower is the greatest thing in the world. So I made a video about turning your outdoor shower on. And anybody that lives at the beach knows that warm weather's coming, and that's a huge day. So I made that video. It got 1 million views, which was awesome. And then, I was waiting for the parade the next morning, and I was going to retire. I was going to have 1 billion clients, and it didn't happen. So it made me realize, like, getting up every morning and just being consistent, that's everything. Because literally, right when I was about to stop making videos, or I was kind of winding down, is when things started to go well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they're horrendous, really awkward. And even when people comment today on videos, when I get a comment, I have to hear the video starting over and my voice. Yeah, it's brutal, but it's one of those things where, like I said, I think being able to show who you are, you're gonna have people reaching out to you. And I don't know how long everybody's been in sales, but isn't that always the dream? Have somebody call you, feel like they know you, and have a good conversation instead of having the awkward battle fighting for my 30 seconds of your time. So I think it's absolutely worth it. I don't think it's going to come easy or quick, but that's all right. We're not going anywhere. Just grab your phone, make a video, talk about anything. If it's real estate related, great. If it's about the rough morning you had and you spilled coffee on yourself, a lot of people can relate to that. Like, just start making anything and blasting it out there. And I think that in like a year and a half, you're gonna go, I'm really glad that I started doing that. So yeah, authenticity and consistency.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check everyone on this webinar and see where you are in a year and a half. Michael, what are your last two tips you want to leave for everybody?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Logan was spot on with it. Is being authentic and then being consistent. That's the biggest. And when I'm only 5.5 years into real estate, and I remember when I first started, I was like doing an open house live, and I'm like, oh, I have to restart. Oh, I have to restart because I didn't say crown molding correctly. And I'm like, honestly, these people that are watching, they literally don't care. And my broker always says, don't be a secret agent. And I've missed out on business because I've decided not to post. Like in certain cities, I always like on my Instagram story, I'm like showing houses here, showing houses there, and people are like, "Oh, I didn't know that you go in that service that area." I'm like, "Yes, I do." So that's definitely, the consistency aspect of it, especially when you get to the point where some, videos can go viral because that's the algorithm basically saying, hey, it's going viral one time, it's going viral two time. Like this is something that's working. And it doesn't have to be like a whole production. You don't need like a crazy, I'm filming just with my phone and my screen recording on CapCut on my laptop. And I'm doing one take. Like if I say something funny, like it is what it is, but it's just a consistency because I need to be able to allocate more time towards prospecting. And that's just like one of the pillars of my business that I'm currently working on building up. But the more that you do it, and that's good ties into, being very diligent with your schedule and like allotting like an hour or so every single day or 30 minutes every single day towards social media. That's how it'll help build up. And to Logan's point, yes, the consistency is definitely key. You want to take something and run with it if it's working well.
Yeah, yeah. And Nicole Van Tree, shout out. Don't be a secret agent. That's awesome.
And
Shout out.
Michael and
Great.
Logan, you have to agree. When you tell people that you have your own app, do they not love and think you're an absolute badass because you have your own app?
A
Oh
hundred
yeah. They're
percent.
just
A
like, what?
hundred percent.
Exactly.
Yeah. A
Every
hundred
single
Yeah.
percent.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
That
anybody
is
else that has one.
Yep.
that is awesome. So we're gonna open it up to any Q&A from anybody who is on today. If you guys have questions for any of our panelists, all of our panelists, please feel free to put it into the Q&A. For everyone who came live today, we said there's going to be a little something special for you. If you have an app with us, we are making app videos now. So we can make a video for your app. It's super duper cool. So if you guys would like us to make you an app video, in the Q&A, put your name and also put that your app name, your brokerage, whatever, all the information that you could put in there to the Q&A. And then, yeah. So again, new software is coming up. New features are coming up. There's collections. There's Home Hub. There's a lot of cool new stuff that's happening in the app. We're putting people on our priority update list. I think everyone on this call, as far as the panelists, have already been updated, and they'll tell you guys how cool it is. But we're going to, we got Cassidy Lewis living in San Diego. Would love a video. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, you guys can pop those in there. Chris said, When's the latest? Oh, Chris said, maybe to Xander, this is a good one. When's the latest or craziest time you've gotten a notification that a client is searching in your app?
What is sleep? Like, what is sleep? It's 2 a.m. And because we do a lot of military. And so we have a lot of even, nurses that are here in San Diego. So, our sleep time is their awake time. So I will literally send a message back to them. So 2 a.m. would be like my answer on that one.
Wow, wow. Yeah, 2 a.m. is like when everyone's doom scrolling too. It's just like, I can't sleep. I
Yeah,
look for a new house and a new life, right?
sounds perfect to me.
Very cool. Samantha said, Michael, how many people show up on average to your Taco Tuesday? Did you partner with a restaurant or vendors? Any more details you can share? I love this idea. This was an
Yes.
awesome, awesome idea. Nicole, his broker, talked about this at one of the conferences we were at. So talk a little bit about Taco Tuesday and the vendor sponsorship and how it all began, because it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a local vendor. Nicole, we're a part of the local area chamber of commerce. So we're always going to the farmers markets, and I'm a foodie, so that's like why my videos are all based off of food on TikTok because I like it. So I told Nicole, I was like, I tried these tacos and these quesadillas. I was like, we need these guys at Taco Tuesday. So we ended up having a partnership with them. They're our main taco vendor at our Taco Tuesdays, and then we'll have whether it's a insurance agent or one of our preferred mortgage lenders, all who are on the app, by the way, to feature them. They're the ones that are sponsoring our Taco Tuesdays, and then we have a very strict way of advertising in advance to ensure that we can get the 40-50 people on average that we get. Sometimes it's a little bit less just because it's with the weather. That's the biggest thing in Florida is the weather. So summertime, I know it's usually peak season, but a lot of people do not want to leave the house because of mosquitoes and humidity and all of that. But we do get a pretty good turnaround with the crowd. And then on top of it, we reach out to local businesses. Like there's a bagel spot across the street. I know the franchise owner. So I'll just say, hey, Dustin, we're doing our Taco Tuesday. Can I just whip up a little flyer and then put it in, on the desk and like have a stand there for when people order, they can see right across the street that we're having Taco Tuesday. So he thinks the app is amazing. He has it. And he's like, I'm not even ready to buy a house yet, but I'll see him scrolling on there and I'm like, that's Dustin. He's going to turn into a client one day. So it's really awesome. It
There you
helps out so
go.
much.
Well, you got to play the long game, right?
Yeah.
You guys are fun, number one, and number two, you're connectors, right? You're kind of the nucleus of like connecting all of these people. And again,
Mhm.
consistency. When you do the events consistently, they're expecting it. Everyone wants to come say hi. Like it becomes a thing,
Mhm.
right? So that's so
Yeah,
cool.
I
Yes.
have to ask Michael if I download your app, may I have a taco?
Absolutely. I'll give you
All
two.
right, all
I'll
right,
give you
all right,
two
good.
and a free
I'm
drink.
coming in hot.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. So another question is when a client tries going back to Zillow or other of the big name portals, how do you get them to kind of stick with your app instead?
Ooh,
This
that's
is
a
a
good
good
one.
one.
I can share. Actually, this happens often. I don't try to
Yeah.
beat Zillow at what they do. I tell clients, browse wherever you like, but when you want the truth behind a property, come back to me. It's where the relationship happens. You can favorite, and I can immediately give you insight on restrictions of financing. Zillow can't. It can immediately tell you if it's FHA or VA approved. Zillow can't. That's how our app becomes beyond just a search tool and really a connected relationship and not just a search. So, Zillow is there to give you information. We provide interpretation, is what I tell people.
That is
I
spot
just wanted to
on.
add on to what Zandra just said. Is that all right?
Of course.
All right, yeah. Well, I was just gonna say for us, it's interesting because on Long Beach Island, Zillow sometimes will pull the wrong town for a property. So when we list something, for example, there's a place called Beach Haven, and there's a place called Long Beach Township. Sometimes it'll just pull from Beach Haven, so it's not even in the right town. Which sellers love when you list a property, by the way. Once it goes live and it's in the wrong town, you get your phone ringing in 2 seconds. So I mean, it's one of those things that we'll explain to potential clients have the accurate information. Yeah, of course, search wherever you like, but if you want to know where something is really located, or how many bedrooms it actually has, use the app.
I'll
Cool,
chime in
cool.
too because I literally dealt with this prior to the Zoom meeting. He loves Zillow. He loves Zillow. And the biggest thing with him is I don't want to be in a flood zone. And whatever search that he has set up, every single property is in a flood zone. And I tell him, I said, listen, if you use my app, the homes are going to be one available, Two, I can do a specific, search for non-flood zone, unlike Zillow. So he's realizing that slowly but surely. I know with a lot of clients, we say they have the app and they're kind of just like, like everybody has an app. Once they see it and once they come into, an obstacle with another big platform, then that kind of, puts their walls down a little bit and where I can actually show and prove like, hey, like this, I know what I'm talking about. And I want you to have a positive experience. I want you to, I always say I like to provide quality versus quantity because any agent can set anybody up on a stellar or an MLS search or whatever the case is. But really the opportunity that, the Homestack app has is really to provide quality instead of quantity that makes the consumer side, transaction that much smoother. So I dealt with this literally an hour ago. So I'm still working
Wow.
on it.
Well, Zillow's all they know, right? It's like what they've heard, it's all they
Yeah.
know. And so you just have to kind of like reposition it and like guide them, which is,
Hmm.
part of your job as a realtor.
Well, I
So this
think
is another good
it's letting
question.
them see
Oh,
the actual information too, right? I mean, we're always, it's
Yeah.
almost like the realtors are the gatekeepers, and now it's like here's everything that that we're looking at with all the right information, and I feel like for a lot of people, just brings a ton of value.
Yeah.
super cool. This is a social question from Chris Winstead. Hey, Chris. He said, do you suggest agents focus on getting views and going viral or actual clients and closings from social media? That's a tough one.
I'll go. And shout out
Yeah.
Chris. I don't know if you remember me, but Chris at our real estate convention, coolest guy. He was on a panel. His panel was great, and he had his videographer with him. And I think I was in one of his videos, so he's a great example. I think he needs to be on a panel. But definitely, when it comes to views, because one of a challenge, and I love challenges. So Nicole, my broker, she's heard about views and virality and things like that, but like. Is that it? Like, has that led to a closing before? So basically, my goal is to prove her wrong, which is I have to do all of that extra work because I can have a video go viral, but if I'm not following up and actually putting, the app in front of people's faces, it's going to be that much harder, to do that. So I consider like a lot of social media, views that we get, opportunities where it's like I can have an opportunity if I'm at, a Walmart talking to a cashier and say, hey, I do real estate. It's just that much more accessible because there's thousands and thousands of people. It's just I have to be doing the back end work. So like there's so much more that goes involved with it. So I feel like if you can get to that point where you can have a video that goes viral, that increases the amount of people that you can reach out to. But it's like I have to be doing the follow up. I just can't expect a video to go viral and people to come running to me. There's so much more on the back end that goes into it. But that's my goal because Nicole has said that plenty of times, and I'm with her on it. So I want to prove her wrong.
I like how you're like challenge accepted. No,
Yeah.
that's very cool, and that was a really good question from Chris because I kind of agree. It's like it's and that's actually where I think the app can come in too because it's like how do you okay you have all these followers but how do you get them into your actual real estate pipeline and then when you start promoting the app or kind of like hinting at the end of your videos then you're kind of pulling people into your pipeline more which I think is interesting.
I think
Cool.
for
Okay, we have time for a couple more. Logan.
oh no, I was just gonna say, touching on Michael's point. I think when it comes to views and going viral, I think it's like a false sense of security, right? I feel like just being consistent and worrying about building a community is better than worrying about views and virality. And I think Kevin Costner said it best in Field of Dreams: "If you build it, they will come."
Welcome.
And literally just worry about that. Just be consistent. And I think that's the name of the game. It's like I said, staring at the views and the likes, that'll just drive you nuts. So just post the video, get on with your day, and just make sure you post another one tomorrow. And then in, hopefully a few weeks, few months, whatever it is, somebody calls you. They liked your video, they like what you had to say a month ago, and they're reaching out. So yeah, worry more about the community.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you everyone for hopping on here today. Biggest takeaway, if you build it, they will come. No. Awesome. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much for being on. And we will see you on the next one. Like I said, this recording will go on our YouTube at Homestack Apps. And we will link everyone's information, all the panelists on here. Make sure to follow them on Instagram, YouTube to get all of their inspiration and just see how consistent they are, what they're doing with the app, and how much success these guys are having. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Nice
you.
to
Bye,
Thank
meet you
you.
guys. Have a
everyone.
good one.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Work works. Have a good one.
Yes, it does. See ya.